Listen to the people. Listen to humanity. Listen to the parrot. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot. Listen to the people. Listen to humanity. Listen to the parrot. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Listen to the people. Listen to humanity. Listen to the parrot. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV.
Undoubtedly, Africa is the best tourism destination on Earth. The continent is blessed with the most conducive atmosphere. To feel and enjoy these blessings, join the most productive one-week tour of the continent organized by Daylight Africa every September 2nd to September 9th to see beyond the fallacies about Africa on the mainstream media. Contact us at daylightafrica@gmail.com or call 718-822-5555. Daylight Africa. Revolutionizing tourism industries in Africa.
Hello, welcome to World Inkers Network. I'm Dustin Pickering, your noble and honest host. Today we have Rajorshi Patranabis. He's a multilingual poet, translator, and critic and editor working with different forms of poetry. His publications include collections of sonnets, haiku, ghazals, haibun, goyoka, and goyoshi. He is the curator of the multilingual annual National Newtown Poetry Festival in Calcutta since 2018. A Wiccan by philosophy and practice and a food consultant by profession, Patranabis has been published in many national and international online and offline journals and anthologies. In February 2023, Patranabis published a seminal volume of Goyoka, a 5-line Japanese poetry form titled The Last Drop of Your Tears. This volume is the world's first collection of Goyoka in English by a single author. He repeated the feat in September 2023 with his collection Checklist Anonymoi, which is the world's first collection of English goyoshi by a single author. Patranabis' poems have been translated into Assamese and Bengali, and a Hindi translation is forthcoming. He has 9 books of poetry and 2 co-authored volumes of translation. Patranabis was awarded the Rashtriya Samman by Kavya Dawa Assam for his contribution to literature and translation. Let's welcome Rajorshi to the show and put him on the screen here. We're having a little bit of a technical issue, but that's quite all right. So first question would be, why do you choose so many forms? What is the value of form to you?
First of all, hello, Dustin. Good morning to everyone in the US, and good evening to everyone on this side, on the eastern side of the globe. Well, a very very pertinent question. I mean, as far as I am concerned, forms are different modes of expression for me, and they actually keep me going. I mean, suppose if I keep writing the same thing over and over again, I get into some kind of a monotony, and to break that monotony, maybe I try to do something different, and from that, I mean, I have this, I would say, this gift of the gab, that maybe some forms that I try, and I have benevolent people like Dr. Kiriti Sen Gupta to help me go ahead with this. At least he supports something which are very new, which have been I mean, roads that are not trodden previously. Yes,
Right.
so that is how things had been going till now. Justin.
Yeah, that's interesting. So you just kind of get restless with what you're working with, and you just move into different interpretations of form and work with those. That's really wonderful. What about what can you tell us about these Japanese forms that you're working with?
See, the most important thing is Japanese forms come with a lot of baggages. I mean, that is one thing that all of us must understand. And I'm really thankful to all the people, all the poets working down west to have done away with
Mhm.
most of the baggages. On the east, however, um, there are people who still think that certain baggages are within quotes canonized things. Like a 575 syllable count in a haiku. The word haiku in English is a two-syllable word. In
Mhm.
Japanese, it's a three-syllable word.
Okay.
So automatically the source language from where it has actually come and the language that we are writing in has a contradiction.
Mhm.
So why don't we do away with this baggage of and let us stick to that simple fact. Let us have short, crisp, staccato, three-line poems, and let us
Mhm.
write to touch hearts. It's just not right to be on the right track. Poets are known and well known to be wrong. Let us be wrong for a change. So as far as Japanese forms are concerned, and the last two forms that I have written, Gogioka is is a five-line poem a
Mhm.
with a with a phrase in every line, and Gogyoshi is the freest version. So there are actually no shackles to bind you in that five-line poem. You just need to put in a title. In Gogyoka, you need a phrase or a metaphor in every line. In
Mhm.
Gogyoshi, you don't even need that. You write a five-line poem with a title. The title should be in all caps. Each line of the five-line poem should start with a capital letter, and that's all, and that's nothing. That's nothing to that syllable count. When I start writing, say something of Dustin, how many syllables does Dustin make? So let us not get into all these tremendous difficult things when we write poetry, and let us not take poetry away from the common people. I mean, that is what we have actually done.
That's
I've heard
interesting.
people
Yeah.
saying poetry is a little bit too difficult of a thing that for me to understand or to fathom. Let us
Mhm.
let us encourage people to get into poetry. Poetry is not difficult. We have made it difficult. Let us not do it.
Right. So, what sort of themes do you find that you embrace? I mean, the last drop of your tears, for instance. What does that refer to?
Last drop of your tears was, I mean, at best can be termed an accident. At
Mhm.
best, I mean, I was going through Facebook. I'd seen someone try a something called a Gogyoka. I
Mhm.
started reading it, and if I would have found a lot of syllables and this and that, I wouldn't have gone into it at all. I know me. I mean, you cannot. Uh, if you tell me that you have to write this way, I mean, that is what the canonized people have done to
Mhm.
English poetry. Some people have told you that this is the way Petrarchal sonnets should be, like this. There should be this rhyme scheme.
Mhm.
So see, it's something like giving you a driving license, teaching you to drive a car, and telling you that this is the only road that you can drive in. Since I have told you this is the road,
Mhm.
and in the name of poetic license, this is just not done.
Right. So, how do you
So
approach creative writing from that angle? Like, it seems like just saying no rules, no standards, or whatnot. Do you have a set kind of idea of what when you're like teaching creative writing or showing someone like the tricks of the trade, so forth? Do you have a particular method or approach you take?
I think Justin, we've been a part of a workshop previously, if
Hmm.
you remember. We've been a part of a workshop, and what I personally feel is everyone has that particular soft point of emotions,
Hmm.
that particular soft point where the creative juices are stored. I would just like to spill them out of you.
Hmm.
Let it flow. Let
Right.
it flow. Forms and everything, whatever comes much later. Let there be creations first.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just enjoy the process and let it kind of float from you. You know,
Absolutely.
it's not something you want to, strangle to death. You know.
Absolutely, very very well said. Yes, we shouldn't be strangling people to death in the name of creative writing, or and
Right.
ultimately what will happen is the ones that you actually see a lot of potential in would run away,
Right.
and that is
Absolutely.
that that is the saddest part of it.
Do you think maybe like guiding them into creative writing is a practice, like letting them flow at first, and then maybe introducing some more skill oriented stuff, or like fancy
Absolutely,
tricks?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's like you you should learn to sing first before telling you that see, this is a waltz and that is a bossa nova and this is that and this is maybe a C major or a D minor.
Hmm.
Before that, I should they should the tune should be there in whichever scale, in whichever pitch it is. We
Right.
should we need to have that tune going.
What is the meaning of the title "Checklist Anomaly"? It's very interesting. I've never heard those two words together. I don't think in my life.
Well, to be very honest, checklist, the word checklist and the word anomaly are two words taken from two poems in the book.
Hmm.
So it's something like if you make a Dustin and a Pickering, it makes for beautiful reading. Checklist and anomaly makes for a beautiful reading.
It's very interesting. It has a good flow to it, and it kind of the words are kind of ricocheting within each other, to an extent, and then they level out and kind of into like a little slide, and then the word anomaly. I think that's really interesting. So, what kind of what sort of themes are you working around in this book?
I'll tell you one thing: the themes across all my books, the basic theme had been love,
Oh, okay.
and the basic theme is love. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I hate making people understand about what I have written, and I always believe that you cannot you cannot possibly teach people how to read poetry,
Hmm.
and on this on this part of the world there is an extremely difficult practice in colleges and schools where people are actually taught poetry. You cannot teach poetry.
Right.
It should be people read, and it's their perspective. And the very beauty of literature is that maybe whatever I've thought and whatever you have deciphered are two absolutely different things on different poles, and that is the beauty of literature. Let that
Hmm.
be. Why do I need to tell you? See, Dustin, I have written this thing on this. But
Hmm.
yes, the basic theme is love, and
Hmm.
being a practicing Wiccan for the
Hmm.
last maybe 12, 13 years.
Hmm.
mm, I would say you would find a lot of spiritual. I wouldn't say I'm very deep, but you would see a lot of spiritual depth in my writing.
Hmm.
A little bit of spirituality sprinkled here and there. Uh, I really don't believe in that on your face love. I mean, on your
Hmm.
face love, very very maybe a very erotic thing, a very open, raw thing to come across in my words. No,
Hmm.
they're all subtle, and that's what I personally feel. Anyone who reads them might think it the other way, but I feel they're all very subtle, and yes, you'll find a spiritual leading to it.
Hmm.
Yes.
So, how does your philosophy of Wiccan inform some of the poetry itself? Is you mentioned that's sort of like part of your process. How does it work its way into
See,
the
as far as
writing?
as far as as far as Vika is concerned, Vika is perhaps the first uh, feminist movement in history. It
Hmm.
was it was perhaps the first feminist movement in history. This happened around the 15th century in the West, where you have Luciana and other very strong women. And like my teacher, the beloved witch, the legendary Ipshita Roy Chakraborty says that she was the first one who came to India and proclaimed herself to be a witch. I am a witch, and the word witch comes from wise.
Mm-hmm.
So, 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 so and this very culture and this very thought of Wicca existed in India maybe for the last 5,000 odd years.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that 1,000 years of colonization of this country had somehow changed its mindset and got this. Since the word witch now is more of an abuse
Right.
as far as the West or the East is concerned. Um, but the actual word comes from from this old English word wick, WIK, which means
Mm-hmm.
wise.
Hmm.
So every strong woman is a witch, and the opposite of a witch is a wizard. It's not
Mm-hmm.
that we are bringing out fire from your arms and
Mm-hmm.
blowing people off to ashes. No, it's all about healing, and it's all about getting in sync or aligning yourself with the forces of nature. So unless and until
Mm-hmm.
you align yourself with the forces of nature, and how do you actually align with the forces of nature? With love.
Oh, wow. That's very
You
profound.
you align yourself with the forces of nature only with love. And I think that this whole very thing, I mean, my mom tells me uh, at times your poems are a little bit incomprehensible.
Mm-hmm.
I just tell her, get drink a glass of love and start reading them again. You'll
Interesting.
understand each and every you'll understand each and every word of it. So that is basically the way
Hmm.
Vika has have been a very very important influence in my life, in my writing. Yes.
That's very interesting. So, what about when we kind of talk about language and how it can be symbolic in a sense, and it can change meaning? You kind of implied that with the word witch and how it switched from being a good thing, wisdom or wise, to whatever connotations it has, the darker kind of connotations it has now. So, what do you think? Do you try to restore language in your poetry? In a sense from like the common usages of you ever use like a linguistic device of any kind?
No, I don't. I don't. I don't.
Just
I generally
slang.
believe. I generally believe uh, uh, this whole tsunami that had happened. Goddess
Hmm.
Diana is the moon goddess, the goddess
Hmm.
of magic. With the Western traders, the Latin traders, when it came to India, it became Dayan. Dayan is the Hindi word for witch, which is again which this word was again used to kill or maybe to downtrod women.
Hmm.
But as far as I am concerned, I think I'm too small a person who can own what that person can only do is spread a little bit of love through his words.
Right.
I mean, I'm very very challenged as far as doing very practical things in very beautiful ways using language, maybe a linguistic tool or something of that sort. No, I'm extremely challenged as far as that is concerned.
Very interesting. I think there's definitely a difference in the philosophies of the East and the West. What do you think that you feel like that's a prospect in your work?
I personally feel, Dustin, that as long as people are not stopped from reading poetry, uh, as long as people don't stop them from reading poetry,
Hmm.
and if my words at least reach them, and I had always uh, I've always had one target with me, and that is if I can touch one heart with any of my book, I think my job is done, and that is what I think. I think the God has given me at least that much to do. I cannot possibly be a very big influence. Maybe someday if I'm blessed enough. But as of now, to write something that I personally feel, and to do as much as possible to spread love, and tell people, see, the only thing that we are here for is to align yourself with the forces of nature. You call them forces of nature, you call them God, goddess,
Mm-hmm.
Christ, Allah, Vishnu, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So there's a
So
lot of
that is,
similarities, kind of bridging between the various thought processes that humanity's developed in the last, thousands of years. It's really interesting how that sort of kind of there's certain commonalities in the basic structure of these religions and faiths and so forth. We'll take a brief break. We'll be back with some of Rajorshi's poetry. Keep watching. Hi, I am Dustin Pickering from Parrot Literary Corner. You know me, your noble and honest host, and I've got exciting news for you. Last anthology, Series 1, The Literary Parrot, did such a great job. We wanted to continue to provide this community service to our viewers and to our contributors to the program. So please get up and get a copy immediately. If you're in this book, you want to get a copy. If you're not in the book, you want to get a copy and see what we're doing. You want to be excited with us. We want you on this program, and we hope to see you sometime soon on The Literary Parrot. You have to get your hands on this copy. It's amazing. It's an absolutely beautiful anthology meant just for you. Our past guests have been invited back to contribute yet again to this Series 2. We do this quarterly anthology. We will be doing this after our 200 episode milestone. As of this last quarter, we reached 200 episodes, and past that, get up and get a copy immediately. This is the only TV show on earth for creative writers, and our guests are amazing. They're also community activists building from the ground up. This program is for everybody out there who is a creative mind. Order several copies if you can, and donate to local libraries. Give them to your friends, cousins, fans, supporters, anybody that you think loves poetry. And it's not just poetry in this book. Remember, this is creative mind. So we have prose, fiction, short stories, essays, artwork, anything you can think of, artistically creative, photographs. Everything in this book is packed. It is packed. It is just absolutely packed. If you want to get your hands on it now, welcome back to World Inkers Network. I'm Dustin Pickering. We have Rajorshi Patranabis here with us. Why don't you share some of your poetry? Let's get a feel for what you're about from your poetry.
okay. I would first start off with a sonnet, if I may call it, a 14-line poem, if you may call it. Let the canonized greats call it a 14-line poet. I'll call it a sonnet. So this is from my book called Pregnant, and the title of the poem is Flash. Flash. A light flashed through. A light flashed through. Lightning, thunder, or maybe a vision. A light flashed through. Lightning, thunder, or maybe a vision. Is it a dream? An impending, or maybe of your years beyond? Is it a dream? An impending, or maybe of years beyond? I lay writhing in pain. You left me kissing my forehead. Dissolved in sands, a mirage. Haze pushed me, ethereal weight. Circles of whirlwind, we meet in pains. Flash of pain, happy nostalgia, we love again. Flash of pain, happy nostalgia, we love again. So this was a flash, and another one is a very favorite poem of mine. It's titled "Rolled Over," and I've read this many a times. I don't know. This is titled "Rolled Over." Rolled over. We met first in heaven. We met first in heaven. You with the apple, and I with some hope. You, we met first in heaven, you with the apple, and I with some hope. I tasted you, nights rolled over. I tasted you, nights rolled over. We met last in solitude, you with count of stars, and I with memories of the last. I touched you, eternal longings rolled over. We met in circles of intoxications, you as my love, my longing, my lust, and I as your dream, your muse, your mission. We mingled in faces, phases, times rolled over. Through graves and pyres, hymns and choirs, through graves and pyres, hymns and choirs, our children wait for us, we rolled over. Our children wait for us, we rolled over.
Hmm.
So these are two sonnets that I had actually picked up,
Mm-hmm.
and next is from the last drop of your tears. This collection of Gogioka, which is uh, my dear friend Jagori Mukherjee says this is a seminal collection. My dear publisher Dr. Kiriti Sengupta and Hawakal says that this is a seminal collection. I toe their line. This is a seminal. This is the first ever Gogioka in English by a single author.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Step by step, one more breath. Step by step, one more breath. Where the horizon turns blue, portals lead to that old wait. You and my hollowed colorlessness.
Hmm.
You and my hollowed colorlessness. You look through the next one. You look through mirror of oblivious presence. You look through mirror of oblivious presence are wavy abstract outlined sketches of desire, my resigned past. My resigned past.
Hmm.
And the next one would be darkness relieves my eyes. Darkness relieves my eyes. Waves of enamored lights merge. Darkness relieves my eyes. Waves of enamored lights merge. Nights of mobbed loneliness. Smell your sweats through every bladed green. Smell your sweat through every bladed green. My dubious lust to live again. My dubious lust to live again. There is always though a thin at times, but a very discernible line between love and lust. So
Mm-hmm.
this very dubious lust that we have to live. Okay, the next one. Some ancient memorial cenotaph. Some ancient memorial cenotaph, rugged and rumbled through darks. Some ancient memorial cenotaph, rugged and rumbled through darks, echoes your name, heckled through abstracts. You bloom in my present. You bloom in my present.
Hmm.
And now to end this off, a little bit of Gogioshi, a little bit of checklist,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of anomaly. So, so the first one is titled Rebirth. As I've already said, a Gogioshi is generally a five-line poem with a title.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so the first one is titled Rebirth. Black recalls a story of colored hegemony. Black recalls a story of colored hegemony. White laments A verse evinces muffled anarchy. Red celebrates an untimely rebirth. Red celebrates an untimely rebirth.
Hmm. Interesting. There are a lot of colorful use of color in that.
And the very fact that I would have loved to do it, but I would have loved to whisper this into your ears. I wouldn't be able to do it, and that is
Mhm.
I'm actually colorblind. So
Wow.
so, so uh,
Very
okay,
interesting.
this one is titled "Forgotten Caffeine." Caffeine as in coffee.
Hmm.
Forgotten caffeine. She stared. She stared. Bewildered skepticism took over. She stared. Bewildered skepticism took over. That veranda still smiles. That veranda still smiles. The aroma of forgotten caffeine. Empty chair praises my potent optimism.
Hmm.
E- Empty chair praises my potent optimism.
I like the way that there's all these different associations, and there's the concrete world that you're experiencing, and the emotional impact within that is expressed as well.
This one is titled Lurking Monotony.
Mm-hmm.
Crimped in your blue, crimped in your blue, bare confessions, crimped in your blue, bare confessions, loops of lurking monotony, my string wobbled to hold you close, your cloth fluttered in pink, your cloth fluttered in pink.
Hmm. Very interesting. Very distinct style. You bring a lot of, like I said, a lot of colorful language, and then you have the bridging of the concrete and the subjective and objective worlds that we experience on a daily basis. Kind of the way you can just merge those is really interesting.
I think if you've said that, I mean, this has made my evening. Evening as in India, evening
Hmm.
as in India. So this is actually made because this is what I personally do, and this is the way that I personally feel.
Hmm.
Uh, I,
Right.
I I I do feel I have. I mean, if I can merge the the practical and the impractical, or the other dimension into into one single color, and that is where my job is done. Okay, this one is a very very interesting poem. This is titled Platform Number She.
Hmm.
Shi. She is four in Japanese.
Hmm.
So and four is somehow linked to death.
Okay.
So this is platform number She, and this actually came out in through a very very significant clairvoyance that I had. So
Hmm.
a very significant clairvoyance. So this
Hmm.
was platform number She. The bustles of granitic silence. The bustles of granitic silence. She waited for the moment. Truth smiled to unleash as amber turned green. As amber turned green, whistled departure from platform number She. Whistled departure from platform number She.
Hmm.
So, so this is, I mean, this is more of a, I mean, this had actually come out through a clairvoyance that we Wiccans generally have, but we all of us have since we give some
Hmm.
time to keeping ourselves silent inside, which is a
Hmm.
very very difficult thing. I mean, so and then to finish it off, maybe,
Okay.
uh, or if you want, I can read a couple more. So.
Sure. Go ahead.
This is titled Cadenced Poetry. Cadenced Poetry. Breathlessly awkward, breathlessly awkward, struggles to make love, luminous silver jewels your night, far away into our cadenced poetry, the moon waits for dawn to usher. Far away into our cadenced poetry, the moon waits for dawn to usher.
Hmm.
So,
Like a very, as you mentioned earlier, there's like a very spiritual dimension to your poetry.
yes, and this one, okay. This one is titled Molested Mist.
Hmm.
Molested Mist. Streaks of silver flow to brown. Streaks of silver flow to brown. Strands of stranded smog. Streaks of silver flow to brown. Strands of stranded smog. Rants get adorned with molested mist. Rants get adorned with molested mist. My answer splashed in red. Your questions die of thirst.
Hmm.
My answer splashed in red. Your questions die of thirst.
Hmm. A sense of like longing in that poem, and like a kind of a lot of transitional movement kind of thing, like the at the beginning, the changing of the colors and so forth. Do you see that in your poetry? Like there's a sense of like flux, kind of a flux going on.
Uh, as far as I'm concerned, uh, there's only one sense that I have, uh, as in when I write, or as
Hmm.
in when I read the poems of other poets, and that is catharsis.
Hmm.
I just find that very peace that that only a poem can give me,
Right.
where I'm reading with my heart, not with my head.
Right. Very interesting.
Okay, if you can just listen to this. This is
Hmm.
titled The Storm. This is titled The Storm.
Hmm.
Decapitated greens bear testimony. Decapitated greens bear testimony. Dreamy letters crumble in heaviness. The last tango celebrates every sweet mayhem. And as the skies clear after decades of flood, we wait for the storm to get us again. We wait for the storm to get us again.
Hmm. Wow. Very interesting. Very distinct style, I think, and very different than a lot of what's out there already.
Well, to all your viewers,
Mhm.
I'm extremely sorry to have stayed behind the curtain. So, so, but thank you all so very much. Thank you so much, Dustin.
Sure. Would you like to leave us with some final words, like, some thoughts on the craft or anything about publishing, or advice for the audience out there?
To be very honest, to to everyone who had listened to this program, I just like to say, happy going wild. Go wild with your thoughts and go wild with your words. Wild in the very optimistic sense. I don't believe in pessimism at all. Anyone who
Mhm.
writes poems should be an optimist out and out. And even in the darkest part of the night, we should know that the light, that there's light on the other side of the planet.
Absolutely. That's a wonderfully
So
said.
so as far as I'm concerned, to every one of you who's listening, and as far as my experience with words go, let words play with you, and happy playing with words, because it's something like, it's and it's a joy, and there's nothing called craft. The crafts would automatically put themselves in place.
Hmm.
And maybe someday, someone, maybe a Dustin Pickering, a Rajorshi Patranabis, or everyone who's listening to this show and writing a few words, maybe, God willing, be canonized to be the persons
Hmm.
who had written that particular form. Maybe a Dustinian sonnet someday.
A form of the Pickeringese or something.
Pickering, okay, Pickard sonnet, right? That does it. A world of
Right.
good, yes.
Well, thanks for joining us today. It's
Thank
been
you.
wonderful
Thank
and
you.
pleasant talking with you. I apologize to the viewers about the tech issue. That was a little, I'm not sure what was going on with the video today. Sometimes we have these issues with our format and StreamYard or whatever. I don't know what it is exactly, but we've had this trouble before. So it was great to have you on the show, Jorshi, and I wish you the best with the
Thank
rest
you,
of your
Dustin.
work, and we'll hopefully have you on again sometime for another book or another bout of
Absolutely.
discussion. So
Always yours, always yours. Thank you so much, dear Dustin.
thank you. You guys out there watching, you can donate to our platform, paypal.me/nyparrot. Right there at the bottom, our support handle. And we'll collect the money and we'll give it to put it into furthering the program and getting more poets on the show. And if you want to be on the show, look at the ticker at the bottom here. If you're a writer and wish to be featured on this show, send your bio and samples of your work to publication.worldinkers@gmail.com. Don't forget the dot. It's very important because it'll go somewhere else. So I don't know the futile race of poetry that doesn't get sent to the right place. I don't know what happens to it. I don't know. I don't get to see it. That's what happens to it. But if you would like to be on the show, remember to put that publication.worldinkers@gmail.com. You can send me your headshot and bio, and don't forget to do that soon so we can get you on the show as soon as possible. We have a couple more comments from some people here. Vatsala, thank you so much. And Resin, that's a wonderful. Thank you for participating today and watching. Resin, so thank you so much. And thanks to Curti and all the publishers out there that are making poetry happen. Thank you so much. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day out there. And I hope you'll get to writing pretty soon. And just remember, it's free. It's a free activity. And it's very unbound. And we want it to be, as much poetry in the world as possible, much joy and love and energy out there as much as we can get. So thank you for joining us. Have a great day.
Listen to the people. Listen to humanity. Listen to the parrot. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV.